And as you can see, LAMMORE is a US-based company. And this training is actually something that we have introduced into Ghana. And I would say, not because I am actually doing it, but from my experience of going through other sales training, this is a training that is very in depth, and it gives you a more practical, hands-on kind of experience in your training. So with the examples, with the different medium that you're going to be using, so it's totally different from a normal side of training. So let's get started as we look at growing your business, growing your skills as salespeople, and how you can become more impactful in your field. A little bit about myself is that I am presently studying for my doctorate in transformational leadership. I believe that we have a train, I would say, of leadership, strong leadership, and in companies, in our countries. So how can we improve our skills? And this training here is about improving your skills. And so for myself, yes, it's all about how do we keep adding value so that we can add value to others. And if you're not learning and you're not growing, how are you planning to actually add value to other people? And if you're in sales or you're not in sales, many of the things that you're going to learn here and learn in the program also help you to develop your skills otherwise too. And so for myself, yes, I've been able to, had a lot of experience in business-wise, over 13 years in business. And I would say even more beyond that if I'm to come to my high school age and helping my parents in their business. And so I love business and I love business development, and to also think of how do we create wealth through business development. And so that's my passion. What are your passion as you go by in life and see, why are you doing what you are doing? This is so important for you to understand. Why do you do what you do? What is the joy? What is the results? What is it that you're looking for in what you do? So it's important that you know your why. And I like how Simon Sinek would have explained this, and you can research and read up on his book and start with the why. Why do you want to be a salesperson? Why do you want to do training? Why do you want to develop yourself in a particular area? And answer those questions going to help you to know, when sometimes when things get a little difficult, you understand why you are doing it in the first place. So my why is very big, I would say, for me, is to get out of bed every day and to do what I do, is that I want to be able to, impact this world at a higher level, to see changes happening. And because I'm a person of faith too, it's how do I, God using me to be able to bring healing and restoration. How do we do this in a different platform? And being able to wake up and do that brings me joy. Being able to coach other, leaders brings me joy to see what they're doing. Why are you doing what you are doing? So if you haven't answered that question for yourself, I would suggest you write it down and really ponder on it to answer it for yourself. Now, my question to you is that why do you think these big companies here, like Procter & Gamble and Black & Decker, Google, all these companies, and these are global companies, why do these companies use the single selling series? So this program here, it's not only, as I said, in US or in Guyana, but it's international, that is recognized and actually being used by international companies. And as I'm asking that question, why do our local companies also see the need of using the principal selling series. And some of these companies you might be aware of, but I'm going to answer the question in a few. But let me ask you, what do you think is the most important function of a corporate? And many of us might have different opinion on this here, right? And that's okay that you might think otherwise. But if I may ask some of our participants in the Zoom, what do you think is the most important function in a corporate organization? Del Joseph, are you there? Or Rosalind, maybe you can answer. What are your thoughts?
Hello. Yes, can you guys hear me?
Yes, Del, go ahead.
For me, it would be customer satisfaction and make sure that they're happy.
I'm not hearing you clear, Del.
I'm saying for me, the general idea would be customer satisfaction, so that you can have a long-term relationship with the customer.
Okay, great. Yep. Rosalind, what do you have in mind? What do you think is the most important function within a corporate organization?
One, it would be, as Del would have said, the customer satisfaction, and two, to generate revenue.
Generate revenue. Okay, so yes, this is a sales training program, and I will say that it is important. The sales of the company is important, and in my opinion, is that you can have, say, maybe your accounts department. If there are no sales, what are the accounts? What are they doing? Who are they billing? Who are they following up on receivables? What function would they have if there are no sales? What would your warehouse do if there's no one buying? Right, and so I take it from this angle here that we can all agree that sales is the most important, and I would say the lifeblood of the company, if I may put it in that way, because we can't buy or do anything if we don't sell, right? And so, as I'm saying, we all agree. Some of you talk about customer service, and you talk about generating revenue, and now you might think that since sales and generating revenue is so important, then shouldn't that be something that everyone pretty much invests in? And if I may take the corporate US, in the research in 2018, how much money was actually invested or spent on learning and development? And if any of you can take a wild guess, how much do you think out of this, 30 billion, which was spent on learning development, how much was actually spent on sales training? The idea that we just talked about as being the most important function in a company, sales, right? How much do you think, on average, if you're to guess, how much do you think was put into sales training from the learning and development budget there? Daniel, what do you think?
I would guess 2%.
Daniel says 2%. 2%. And so let me answer Daniel. They said it's 1.42 billion. Now this is less than 5%. And so Daniel, yes, you fell below 5%. But you might think that, if sales is generating so much revenue, or sales is the important area for any company or the business to survive, you will think that companies are investing in their salespeople so that they can generate more and they are able to actually perform their roles even far better. But that's not the case. And It might look like a large figure, but really and truly is just less than 5%. And when you think about this here is that what can you as an individual do now to improve your skills? The program that is offered is how these companies, and I started off by asking you, those companies, why do they use us? Right? We are not another learning and development program or workshop or training or whatever you might want to call it. Right? We are an integral part of your business development. It's just not another investment. And that's why, if you can see it as how do we help you to develop your business by gaining this knowledge and by you practically going and do what is actually what you're learning, right? The idea of learning these things is how do you generate more wealth? So we look at it as a wealth creation method of when you learn these strategies and when you learn actually how to sell, and you will learn different ways of going about doing this. And you'll be able to solve some of the, I would say, some of the challenges companies are having, and how do they acquire new clients? How do you get more customers? How do you keep your customer engaged so that they want to come back and you have the client base that they're loyal to your business? So we talk about retention of the current customers that you have presently. And if I'm to ask you what kind of strategies that you have in place for these people, and so that they keep coming back, they feel part of your company, right? Learning of how to do these things is many times, I would say, not there in training, right? We get thrown into different position without the proper training to do it. So many times also you find salespeople are not motivated. Being able to pass through this training is how do you improve or how do you become more motivated people that stand and deliver. We look at how do you actually make your business, sustainable. How to the return on your investment, how to keep multiplying it. And so what we think of ourselves, this training is it's something that continues. It's like a gift that continues to give. So it's a period that you're going through this training, but as you keep using the techniques and the tools that you keep adopting and you keep improving and this is where they're generating of their, your return on the investment where it happens. So what this whole goal of going through this training, as we say, is to be able to improve your confidence. Some of you may think that, oh man, maybe in your company or maybe in your business or maybe you know people that you think they must be a born salesperson, right? They must have born with these kind of qualities and these skills that they're amazing. Their numbers are amazing. And I can assure you, there are no born salespeople. Okay? The top performance salespeople need the skill, which is the how, the will, the why, and the know-how, the what to deliver. And when we think of this training, it enhances your individual skills, your product knowledge, and it helps you to understand the principle behind motivation. Okay, so as an individual, when you go through this training, many times you might see and you might ask yourself, well, why wasn't able to close this sale? Are you actually coming across confident to your customers or the prospects that's standing before you? How are you demonstrating that you're confident in you as an individual? How did you build as an individual? You see, I went through my slide about me, and It's also, how do I be credible to present this training to you? How do I do this training? What have I done to add value to myself that I can say I am able to do this? This training helps you to build credibility in you. So when you stand to present on behalf of your company or your service, whatever you're selling, that you're coming across with the confidence that is needed, that you have built the credibility in the minds of people that, yes, you know what you're doing, and yes, you know what you're talking about, and you can demonstrate that. So this training helps you with your conversion rate. I'm not sure how many of you actually calculate your conversion rate. How many people are you interacting with on a daily basis? How many were you able to actually enroll or close a sale with? And then if you can divide those numbers, then you will see, is my conversion rate, I'm speaking to 100% and only 50% of the people I'm able to convert. Why is that? Why is my conversion not up to 80 to 90%? Right? So when you go through this training, it will help you to increase your conversion rate. And obviously, if your conversion rate starts increasing, also sales starts increasing, your productivity starts, your manager, or if you are the owner that is going through this training, you will see how much you actually start becoming more productive. Okay, and so everyone, if you ask everyone what they want, they say, I want more revenue. Everyone wants more revenue, right? Or more profit or more customers. So how do you get that if you are not actually learning your conversion rate, where you're at? Have you measured yourself to know if you're improving? This is a program here. This training is guaranteed that your conversion rate will go up. So ask yourself, when last did you actually went through a training? You know, I have read that after, 18 months, or between 18 to 21 months of whatever you have studied is actually not valid anymore, right? And so you can go through all the training, but if you're not upgrading yourself, how are you actually going to be able to face the new things that are coming? The doctors, all the professionals in this world here have to consistently keep developing and adding to themselves. Are you, as a sales professional, how are you actually upgrading yourself? How often are you upgrading yourself? So if you want to think about it, this program here is about how do you upgrade yourself and keep in the game, right? And that you keep relevant. Now, what do you think about when you read these words? What comes to mind when you read these words? And let me ask Ms. Joseph, Malia. Forgive me if
Hi, Miss.
I'm not sure if I pronounced your name correctly, but
Yes, Malia.
Malia. What comes to mind when you actually read those words?
If this is towards the customer, anybody in the company, that will be bad for business.
But have you heard about these words before? Like, you ever heard someone call anyone?
Yes, they can be quite frustrating.
Okay, yeah. So guess what? Many people think salespeople are pushy. If you go out on the road right now and maybe do a little survey and you ask some people, tell me in one word, how do you describe, what are your beliefs about salespeople? And you will hear words like, oh, they're pushy, they're sleazy, oh, they're just out there to get my money. And they don't care, they're manipulative. And so these it might be that salespeople don't have a good reputation if you're to read these words, but today we want to change that, right? How do you sell actually, or learn to sell, that you don't come across as being a pushy person? So when we think about selling, our definition of selling is to positively influence people to make a buying decision. Okay, that's your role as a salesperson, is how do you positively influence somebody to make a buying decision. It's not that you're trying to, push your idea off on them, but how do you help them to make a decision? And that's what the whole idea about sales is about. And when you look at these two sets of people here, when you look at them, they have the same thing in common. They are goal-oriented people. They are incentivized the same way. However, when you look at them, their roles, they perform it completely different. How they fulfill their roles is totally different. So if you look at the guy, on the left, you might use all the words that I just had on the screen, that how if you were to describe him, right? Comparing to the guys on the right. And so the guys them on the right from the Apple store, they're all about understanding your needs and how they can best satisfy you. And I'm not sure if you have had experience with Apple, but it's a different experience when you walk into their store and you interact with them. So when you talk about service, see them for that. The gentleman, however, that you might be seeing here, his need, it's all about his needs. What does he want? He doesn't care if he has to tell you he's gonna give you the moon and the star or whatever just to get you to buy something, right? He more might use manipulative way to sell whatever. In this case, he's a car salesperson. He will tell you anything. So in this program here, that's not what we teach you, right? We teach you how to become more of what we call client-centric, right? How do you become more client-centric comparing to self-centric, like our sleazy, if you want to call him that, car dealer? Now, how do you know if you are client-centric or self-centric? So I'm going to ask you to do an exercise with me. And if you want, you can turn on your camera and do it. Or I will assume you're doing it. Take your index finger and make a Q on your forehead. Okay, you're drawing a Q, and make sure you put in the tail, a capital Q, and the tail. Now look where did the tail falls. If it fell for the left, or did it fell to the right? Now, if you wrote the Q so that you could understand it, which means the tail fell to the right, it means that you're more inward focused because it is for you to read it. But if you put the Q, you made a Q so that someone else to read it, which will make the tail fell on the left eye, is that you're more of a client-centric then. You're more outward focused. So don't feel bad if you actually had the tail fell onto the on your right side. That's okay. And yes, Del, that's okay. Welcome, Christopher. So again, this program is to teach you how to become more client-centric. So don't beat yourself up if you found out that, oh, shucks, I am more about myself. And I may come across as the pushy kind of salesperson because all I'm thinking about is my needs, right? So you can learn how to become more client-centric. How do you help your customers actually to go through a process that demonstrate that you care about them, that you care about their needs and what they want, comparing to you just thinking, oh, I have a sales goal to meet and I don't care as long as this person buy, if they could buy whatever, if they come in and they buy whatever, it doesn't matter as long as I meet my goals. So if it's about you, then that's where sometimes you might be going wrong because that person doesn't feel connected with you. And when you learn that less about you and more about how do you help them to make a decision. Okay, it's more about that person in front of you and less about you. So as you learn in this program how to become more self-centric, you're going to learn why people buy. And before the ending of the program, you will notice to heart that why do people buy? They buy when there's a compelling need, okay? And the compelling need is met by a credible solution that must offer perceived value. If one aspect of this is only there, you might end up with an objection. And likely that's why you are having an objection from your customers or your prospects. So all three of these areas must line up, must be a compelling need, must have a credible solution, and that customer must see some value. What is their perceived value for whatever it is that you are selling there? Now, I can demonstrate this here in our toothpaste challenge. And now when you go this evening or beyond now to sell or brush your teeth, I should say, or you go to the supermarket and you're going to see toothpaste, you're going to remember this exercise or this little challenge that I'm giving you here. Now, how many of you could tell me what is common between all of these products here? What is common with these products? Rosalind, what do you think? Or Eric? What is common with all these products on the screen here?
They're all used to brush your teeth.
They're all...
Hi, sorry. I can't really see anything on the screen.
You're not seeing the screen?
No, and I just joined the group.
You might need to slide your screen if you're on the phone to see my screen. So Rosalind, what did you say? What did you see as the common factor with these products?
They can all be used to brush your teeth.
They're all used to brush your teeth. So you might ask yourself then, why?
Oh, I see.
Yes. Why do we have Janina brand, which might value something almost US $15, right? And comparing to maybe the cheap brand at the bottom, you might get this in a Walmart store in the US for just 99 cents. So maybe 200, again, $1 less, right? And I think about maybe the US dollar convert the US, the $15. Why this expensive $15 comparing to 99 cents? Why would somebody want to buy this high-end brand? Why Janina? Why not the green brand or the trusted brand or the cheap Walmart brand? And this is where you get to understand customer needs. What is the need, that compelling need for the customer here? All of these products, as Rosalind says, that it is used to brush your teeth, right? Or to clean your teeth in this case here. I mean, it's going to do the same thing, right? All of it going to do the same thing. But then why should someone buy? So if my needs, right, is about, I want the brightest, whitest possible teeth. So when I smile, I can maybe, see the reflection of a bright light onto people. But think of your needs. Or maybe one of you, your need is about, how do I be more environmentally friendly, right? So my need is about, how do I be more environmentally friendly in what products I'm using? So yes, Dell, that sometimes because of popularity, indeed. So Janina might be all the movie star kind of brand who buy that toothpaste or that Colgate, or in the other hand, is something that is on the market that everyone knows about. It's something that everybody trusts. So every customer here would have actually a different need of why they want to buy. And so if my compelling need is about the brightest, whitest teeth, is that I wouldn't mind paying the US $15 because it matches the value, that the perceived value in my eyes. It's the compelling need that I also have, and it's a credible solution to the problem that I want to solve. Okay, we would not. So when you think that, okay, who am I speaking to here? And when you can interact with your customer to understand what are their needs, then you can actually match your product to their needs. You're going to learn how you actually can identify those needs. How do you interact with a customer to actually bring about knowing what are their needs, and how do you match that credible solution of your product to what are their needs? Okay, and building up that value in their eyes. Because if, as I said, if these three things are not lined up, your customer will not buy. So if they don't see the value in what you're selling, they're not going to buy it. So there are many things on your end that you will learn in this program here to help you understand what is your product you're selling. Where is it positioned in the mind of your customers? And how do you sell on value comparing to selling on price? And you might see that many people right now, if your product especially is very similar to someone else's product, or it is the exact product you're selling like someone else, what is only left for you to do is to compete on price, right? But if you learn actually how to sell, you would actually sell that same exact product at a higher price and get people to buy it. That is where training comes into place, so that you learn how to sell on value comparing to selling on price. Okay, when you can match your customer needs. So as I said, these are things you are going to learn in this program, and what it can do for you as a salesperson, how it can increase your revenue. The program is actually delivered in a 3-section program with 12 modules. Okay, and the 3 programs is spread out in creating a winning proposition, the 5 steps of an effective sale, and closing the sale. So you're gonna learn how to handle objections, and how to turn an objection into actually a yes. So this principal selling series is, it's a 21st century kind of selling philosophy. It's not the old way of selling. And that's why it's so successful, is because the way you're going to learn how to sell is totally different. And as I said, many of you are hired maybe and thrown into a position, I want to become a salesperson, but you might have studied some sort of programs, but nothing where you could say, yes, I've had some sales training, hands-on sales training, that actively go and doing the things then that you learn. It's not a 3-hour program. You come and sit down, or 4 hours, or even a day that into a training, and you get fire hosed with a bunch of information and all this, and then you go back and figure it out for yourself. This here is being done live online. It's done in a blended format where you have the online part of it that you do, and then we meet for about 90 minutes every week into a coaching session. So you get coached through the exercises, you get coached even or mentored into other areas that you might have questions about on your assignments that you have to complete. So the medium, you have videos, you have reading, you have images. All of these are different, aspects are there to help you to learn, and in bite size, I would say. It's small portion that helps you to digest it easily and be able to apply it back. Okay, at the end of the program, also you get a certificate of passing through this training here. So you are going to be allowed to ask any question at the end. So you can also post your questions into the chat group. But we have a proven track record of individual and organizations' growth and success. So this program is also certified with the ISM and the CMI organizations. And we have actually won a British Excellence in Sales and Marketing Award. There's a program, it's as I said, it's a sales philosophy, which won different awards too. It's global. It's not only in the US, it's in the UK, and it's in the Caribbean. And many are actually going through this training right now to keep improving their skills. What some of our clients and our participants that went through this program are saying about the program is that it's a training that really benefited them and their sales team, right? The skills have improved, and they like the idea of how it is just the learning experience, how it's fun and informative way. And it's very simple, as I said, in bite-sized, very simple way of learning. And Mr. Hall from Millennials said those things, and Mr. Prasad also, his thing is that he likes the short paragraph. So it's not a bunch of reading a whole lot of things and trying to digest, as I say, but it's done in snippet that you can actually do. And the exercises is also small little exercise that you can do, and it's very practical because the exercise will be done not according to exercise that a teacher might be teaching you, but this exercise is about your business, about your companies, about your products, about your service. You're going to do those exercises accordingly, and then we discuss it. So he enjoys that, the learning and growing and becoming, even better and excellent in what they're doing. One of our other clients, he was a little skeptical. How does this apply to me? I sell flooring. And, so this program is not for one specific type of product or service. This is about overall, how do you develop yourself as a salesperson in any environment with any product or service you're selling. And so, what was Andre's comments from going through the program too is, in one of the session, he was sharing how just one of the technique he had applied and closed a sale with an individual that actually paid for this course for him. And so that's what this program is. It's not a one-time thing. And that's why I said it's a gift that continues giving, in that what you learn here is going to be multiplied over and over in all of your sales interaction. So it's something that will keep growing and keep improving for you and improving your numbers. And so how it's going to positively influence you, like what Andre is saying. So everyone actually that went through the program really enjoyed it, and was able to see the growth in their business and their strategies, how they were doing things and what they're doing now. And the program, actually, as I said, it's a 13 weeks program with 12 modules. It is online, and that's a good part of it, is that if you are working and you don't need to take time off of your work, but it's a program that is run, in an evening settings, and it's run more in convenient timing so that you can do the whole program in the 13 weeks. It's an investment of $216,990, and it's a one-time investment for that period here. And what I will do for you is that the serious people who really wants to make and improve their numbers. The serious people who want to develop their skills and understand, the impact that they can have individually and also as a company when they grow. What I want to do is also offer you, if you register within 24 hours, that you can get 20% off of the program. And guess what? Not only you are going to get 20% off, I will also throw in a year access. So the whole dashboard, what you're going through, you have a year access to the training that you can always go back to it and listen back to the videos and even do the exercise over again. So you have a whole year access to that. And also a year access to our Action Coach dashboard. Now, on this dashboard have multiple videos that are additional, that you're going to learn more in sales, and not only sales, it's going to teach you on many other aspects that you want to develop in, whether it's customer service, whether it's about building your business, whether it's about self-management. And I don't say time management, but self-management, because these are areas I keep hearing people say, I need to learn more of this, I need to know more of that. But on this dashboard here, you will have access for it free for a year, that you can actually learn more and develop more for yourself. As I said in the beginning, is that what you have learned, in 18 months, if today you learn 18 months to 21 months, it's gone. It's old, it's outdated. So how are these are opportunities for you to keep, improving yourself, opportunities for you to keep keeping yourself relevant, in this market here now. And if you capitalize on those investments, and within the 24 hours, you have access to all of this here, that is going to be, an investment that you might not have otherwise invested into. So we want to give you those things also as part of our gift to you. Remember this guy here, Jim Rohn, and I like what he says here: never wish your life were easier, wish that you were better. So we might wish and dream and hope that we become a better salesperson, or our numbers become better, our life becomes better, or we can earn more. Never wish that your life was easier, okay? Think about, how do I keep getting better? How do I keep adding value to myself so I keep getting better? So start working harder on yourself than you do on your job. So when you work harder on yourself, actually your job becomes easier, because you know how to work smarter now instead of harder. Okay, so what are you doing right now to keep improving yourself? So I am going to go into, if you want more information about the program, please write down this number, 223-5537, and give us a shout. We can send you any information more that you need, or get registered into the next batch and get going. Okay, so Q&A. I have a question here. So Eric, the investment, I can go back to that slide. The investment for the program, as I said, it's a 13 weeks program, and the investment is $216,990. And you have, if you registered within the 24 hours, you receive 20% off, and you also have access to a 1 year access to the dashboard that you're getting trained on, and also our Action Coach dashboard, which is something that will also spike your revenue that you're looking for. Now, any questions? So you can unmute your mic actually in the room here, and any questions, or you could post it on the chat group here. And if Kiana is seeing any questions on the other medium, that he can also share, that we can cover it here. But any questions from anyone?
Hi, Shanti-san. Is it for product sales or service sales?
So Daniel, can you repeat that? I wasn't hearing you clear.
Is it more for product related selling as a tangible product, or is it also something that can be used for a service industry as well?
So thank you for that question, Daniel. And as I was saying, is that all of these companies, and if I'm to go back actually in my first slide, one of the company there, they are educational companies. So it's a private school that went through this training that really capitalized on the learning of what they got out of it. So this, as I said, the sales training, it's for any environment, for any product that you're selling. When you learn how to actually sell, these principles going to be multiplied in any environment if you're placed in, whether it's a service environment, whether it's you're selling a product, whether it's a small product or a large product, whatever it is, that you will learn now. How do I learn to sell based on understanding my customer, their needs, and providing a solution to them, and demonstrating the value in their eyes. So how do you learn these principles in any settings? Are there any other questions that anyone may need to know more about this program or so? Anything that comes to mind that you want to ask? So how many of you actually want to improve yourself? If you don't have a question, I will ask the question. How many of you actually want to improve yourself? Are you wishing and hoping and dreaming that it will automatically happen? So if we are intentionally actually investing into ourselves, I can guarantee you will see growth in what you're doing. So this is a program, as I said, it's in collaboration with LAMMORE USA, and the value that you will get out of it will far outnumber your investment that you're making to do it. So your return on this investment is that, within a certain period, it's at least 2-3 times the value of what you actually, the investment that you would have made into this program. And then obviously it continues, because if you continue using the principles that you've learned here in every one of your sales interaction, you are going to get good and better. And then obviously you will start seeing your sales start increasing. So guys, if you don't have any other questions, I would like to thank you all for participating, and looking forward to see you on one of the programs soon. So thank you and see you.